Hello and welcome to Just Hoops. Post offense in the NBA isn't what it used to be 10, 15 years ago. The game has changed a ton, but in terms of basketball from a historical perspective, the post is where some of the most dominant players in the history of basketball were able to go down there and perform and get quick, efficient buckets, having space and having the opportunity to score near the hoop. This also provided different offensive spacing, different ways offenses were designed just to allow the best possible options for their big men or larger guys to go out there and make plays close to the hoop. In terms of the modern NBA post offense, this is a place on the floor where coaches have tried to create advantageous situations for either their best player, their big men, or just on the floor to manipulate space and create advantages for whether it's a one-on-one advantage like in some of these clips, or it's a team advantage by having action and movement off the ball, where if the defense falls asleep, you'll get an open look. The post is used a little bit differently nowadays than it used to be. There's much more spacing on the floor, usually 4 wide. In this video, though, we'll talk about the different types of spacing, the different types of movements, and the different types of actions that are seen in modern NBA post offenses. NBA post offense might be different than it used to be with blocker mover, 2 bigs on the floor, but let's dive into the film and see how coaches utilize the post in modern basketball. First, when it comes to post offense, we need to talk about the ways that teams are getting the ball to the post area of the floor. First and foremost is a pass entry. This is the most basic way the ball gets to the post. It's from a guy on the perimeter passing the ball to a guy sealing in the post area of the floor to catch and go make a play happen. This is the most basic and simple way that post offenses get initiated, through a pass where the big man is sealing or the player in the post is sealing. There's also multiple angles such as high lows, mid post, high post, just different areas of the floor where they can seal, create space to get a clean catch. Next, we'll talk about dribble entries or Barkleys. This is where the ball handler attacks downhill, turns their back, and initiates a post touch off the bounce. This is a way to have great off-ball movement because you are initiating with the bounce and allowing 4 guys to either space or play off of each other off of the ball. You can have a lot of creative things happening. And the last way post offense can get initiated is through action. Here the Pelicans go from a zoom on a reversal into a cross screen to get Jonas Valanciunas a post touch. Different types of actions such as cross screens, double cross screens. You can have slices, you could have rip screens, just in order to get the ball to the area of the floor in order for the post player to have space for a good catch and then go to work, have space. We'll talk about the off-ball movement later, but that also plays a role in the action-based initiation of post offense. Denver did a great job throughout the entirety of the season using back screens to free up Jokic, free up Aaron Gordon to get good post touch catches and go make a play happen. Here you'll see the same thing by New Orleans, but overall, those are the 3 ways in order for post offense to get initiated. Next, we'll talk about spacing. Post offense, in a historic sense, is usually with 2 bigs on the floor, a lot of jammed up space, but in modern basketball, things are a little different, so we'll dive into the different types of spacing in modern post offense. Starting with 4 out. This is where on the post touch, post catch, there are 4 guys wide around the ball. Here for the Bulls, you can see that we got 3 on the fence on the weak side of the floor and the passer on the strong side of the floor, just stretching the defense out and allowing the post player to go to work and go create an opportunity for themselves. Here for the Sixers, we'll see the same thing. Joel Embiid gets his post catch, and we got 4 guys spaced around him. 1 at the top of the key, 1 on the high wing, 1 in the corner, and the guy strong side able for that quick kick out. Next, we'll talk about a loaded porch with 3 out. Here for Denver, we can see 3 high and wide, and the opposite porch is loaded. I like this spacing also because you're making the low man have to make a decision. There he helped, and the guy on the porch was able to go make a play. Here you'll see that same type of spacing for the Pelicans. Dyson Daniels is going to be the guy sitting in the dunker spot. We got 3 high and wide on the weak side of the floor, trying to space, prevent gaps, prevent stunting toward the post player. Nobody helps. He's able to go make a play. Here for the Bulls, we're going to see that same type of spacing out of the elbow post catch. We're going to have the porch loaded, 3 wide, corners loaded, a guy behind as a fill, and just playing out of that spacing with a porch loaded, making that low man have to make decisions there. The Bucks did a different variation of this spacing with one in by playing the high post area, having the opportunity to stretch or dive based on the decision that his defender made on whether he helped or stayed home on the post touch. And the last piece of modern NBA post offenses we'll talk about is the movement and action off of the ball. There's a lot of different things teams do, but at the end of the day, we can simplify it down into 3 things. First, we'll talk about gut cuts. Here, for the Sixers, we're going to get Tobias Harris on a post touch. Paul Reed is going to dive down the middle of the floor in a Laker cut just to free up that strong side gap. He drags the help with him and allowing the middle of the floor to open up. Here, for Jonas Valanciunas, we'll have the same thing. We'll have a gut cut by Josh Richardson. They're helping too much. The cut is open, and he's able to finish the play off of a great pass. Another example by Denver here, Jokic gets the post touch. Aaron Gordon dives behind the help, and Jokic is able to throw a phenomenal pass for the lob. And one last example of a gut cut here, we're going to have it come from the middle of the floor instead of the passer. That makes the help move toward that cut, respect the cut, and Joel Embiid has the whole middle of the floor to work with. And one last example here from the Bucks. As we talked about with their spacing, they do creative stuff off the elbow. Here, the dive from the weak side 45 elbow area leads to a layup. Next, we'll talk about jetting off as a passer. This means you're going to cut below the post touch, and then that frees up the strong side of the floor, allowing the post player to go either baseline or middle because you are freeing up and releasing that gap. Here we'll have the same thing with Chicago. Clear up the strong side of the floor, load the porch, and then you're playing based on the low man, whether you have space, but both directions are available. Next, we're going to cut the help on the weak side with the porch or baseline cuts behind the defense. Here, Brook Lopez is floating behind the help side. Giannis picks it up and he's able to deliver a great pass to Brook Lopez, sealing behind the help. Here with Chicago, we're going to get a post by DeMar DeRozan. Alex Caruso is working the porch. He dives behind the help side and is able to finish the play. Regardless if you're cutting from the perimeter or from the porch, when the defense turns their head, it provides an opportunity for off-ball players to see this, identify it, cut behind them, and go be able to finish these plays. And the last thing we have are away actions that can lead to a ton of variety off the ball. Here, the passer goes away, sets a screen, and it just frees up that top side gap, not allowing there to be too much help from there. But overall, this can lead to splits, staggers, screen-aways, dives, just all the above because of the randomness that an away screen can create in an offense. In the modern NBA, post offense is used to create advantages for the perimeter, or if you don't help, allow some of the best players in the league to play one-on-one, get to their spots, and make plays happen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned something about NBA post offense. For more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you in the next one.